Oh, am I live? Is the question. I was about to say stream elements hasn't said it, but I am live on my phone. Or so I think. If it's gonna bug out, what the hell? Reset it. Reset it. There you go. Alrighty. Hello Twitch and hello there YouTube. Today we are continuing with our playthrough of Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward. Now, before anything, I'm gonna just go into the schedule of what's happening this week. So, today, Zero Escape. Tomorrow, Link's Awakening, the remake version. And then Saturday, hear me out, Saturday, right? We start Shoot in Order. I cannot wait for that so badly, you have no idea. But that is currently the schedule of what's happening this week. No changes so far of what I could think of. But yeah, let's just jump right back into Zero Escape and continue filling out the routes that we have. We are kind of finishing up a lot of the routes that we had already not done yet. And there's also like the ones where it's like story locked because we need to do something else from the other route. And now we're finally settled here. Actually, let me get my piece of paper here before anything because you know, things just be bugging. This has the code. Is there space on this paper? Alright, perfect. Okay, so yeah, the code will just be here on this side. And then for this paper, my math problems. Yeah, we have space here on the left side from when we did the Samana Files, which was a great series that we completed finally. We still got Date No Sleep for Kaname Date, but we'll get to that eventually. Right now it's just a break for that because hey, your boy can't afford that game right now, but in the future is a possibility, and for other games that I have not played. But let's just jump right back into Zero Escape. All right, let's just make sure our audio is working properly. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, continue. Jump right in. We have 3 of the endings completed. We are getting every other ending though. Right, we were up to the garden. That's where I left it off. Okay. I literally have no recollection of like where we left off until like getting on here. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, we have a whole other route that I just realized that we have, but obviously we're gonna go straight down, deal with this situation, then we're gonna do the right situation. Don't know how long this session is gonna be, but we're here for it. Alright, let's figure out what's going on. There's a red spotted mushroom growing on the shadow of the tree. Alright, I thought there would be more to that. Large Japanese kova tree. This is where we enter from. Okay, there's this thing here. There's a circular indentation in this panel. And there are 2 fan-shaped holes inside it. Look carefully, those fans are connected. It looks like a butterfly. Alright. We're going to have to cross the water to get over there. Please be careful if you slip. You could fall into the stream. Clicking the blue arrow will move you from current area to the adjacent area. Okay. Alright, there's something behind here that we can't get. There's this thing. Metal rod. Alright. We don't know those. Large shovel. Huh? Something next to my foot. A bronze key. Okay. Anything else that we should kind of inspect for anything? Looks like some dirt has been piled up in the few places. There's green moss growing on the top of it too. Do you think the mound here is higher than the others? Because someone dug up a bunch of dirt and piled it here. Oh, it's a good thing we have a shovel. Alright, let's try digging here. The bronze lid, combine this with the key. Alright, we got our first torn scrap of paper, I guess. This piece of paper I got out of the copper box. One edge is rough, like it was torn. Alright, good to know. Okay. Can't look at the tree, right? Or not nothing to the tree? Okay. This area's song is not bad. Give me one moment. I'm so sorry. Just fixing my headset real quick. My audio's kind of weird, but it's fine. We have no idea what this does. Aren't you guys tired? Why don't we rest on the bench for a while? The water from the waterfall splashes all over it, though. If we stay here, our butts get wet. Damn it. I've been made. Oh, right. We checked here, right? For everything? Yeah, okay. Alright, next little area. That's over there. And then we have more stuff over here. Okay. What's this? It's just a flower pot. There's nothing special about it. Wait, don't people usually hide their house keys under the flower pot or the mailbox? They do? Just trust me, I'm sure there's something under there. Yep, a silver key. Alright. Oh, hold up. It's giving you areas where you have to dig up. Red spider mushroom. I think I'll try digging here. There's the silver box. Okay. So let's go to the other area now. My mic's on, right? Okay. I wasn't too positive. I was like, wait. Bird's eye view of the garden is kind of like a map. What's that on the right? It looks like a box. I think it's a treasure chest. It's connected to the drawing above it, see? Alright, so yeah, the tulips are the next thing we'll have to go for. If we went around to here, that means everything is here, okay. Oh, well, I have the option. Okay. We combine these two. Okay, the torn pieces are now together. There's two more things we need to go for. What's this? Hey, it's a paprika. No, that's a pepper. Probably a bell pepper. Paprika is what you call the spice you make from them. Oh, huh. Why'd you split it in half? I'm not sure. Wait, is there something in there? Oh, yeah. Let me take a look. A yellow coin. Okay. A yellow coin now. Someone was growing tomato vines on these stakes. Each vine has several red tomatoes hanging up. There are leaves running to the ground here. They look like onions. There are some vines with cucumbers growing on them hanging. Okay. We know what that is. What is this? Metal detector. Okay. We didn't get a key yet. Oh, what is this? Look at some sort of mosaic on the bottom of the pond. A lion. Yeah, it looks like a lion, alright. Yeah, the lion thing has been a very well common theme for like every area we have so far been discovering. Going to dig up the skunk cabbage? Poor thing, I never done anything to you. Don't worry, I'll replant it when we're done. Sigma lies. There you go. Now we're just missing the gold key. They're Japanese Okoba. They can grow to over 20 meters, so this one is probably still pretty young. Does that mean it'll break through the ceiling eventually? And maybe we can use it to escape. Hey, there's that's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, I know, because it's idiotic. Fucking damn. Yeah, Alice is really mean on this route. Metal scale. There's a plate on each side. On the right side, key. On the left side, small knife. Okay. Okay. I think this goes with this. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Well, we know what that is for now. I feel like the scales need something. I just don't know what entirely yet. Let's combine this. Where's my key? I was about to say. And then combine this with the piece of paper. Okay. Bottom. Top, top, bottom, middle, middle, top. I don't know where this could even lead to. There's a balance scale. Alright, you can put things on the plate to see what's heavier. Maybe we'll discover it later. Oh, there's just enough room for 2 on this bench. Why are you looking at me? Oh, no reason. We don't have the necessary thing. Unless, hold up. This is, it looks like a tombstone. The people buried here are Mr. Tufue and Mrs. Egoris? Eris. That's what it says. Eris. That's an epitaph. Something that they feel represents them, or just a phrase that they like. What does that mean? Beats me. Any ideas, Luna? Looks like it's Latin, but I don't know what it means either. Did you see this? It looks like there's a keyhole to down near the bottom. You're right. Okay. Let's head back to this one spot. I just realized we don't have the shovel anymore. I guess because we dug up everything. Okay. Loud ass noise for that. The handle fits perfectly into the hole in the wall. Good. Now try turning it. Oh. When I turned the handle, it got dark. Looks like the light up there went down. Maybe the light was sort of a surrogate sun. That's the case, it didn't just get dark, it became nighttime. The garden needs nighttime, I guess so. Or maybe there's some hidden meaning to in switching from night to day. Let's go see if anything changed now that it's dark. If we want it to be afternoon again, all we have to do is turn the handle, right? Okay. Those buttons, we have nothing. Blue star. Are there stars? Maybe the idea was when night falls, stars come out. There's a blue star here. Or there's a... Oh my god, there's a pink star. Blue star. Yellow. Red. Oh, green, red. So... Pink. Writing it down. Alright. The star showed up once night fell. I wonder if there's some significance to that. Well, right now we don't have the significance. I'm looking around. That star is definitely red. The light is underneath it. This is a big star. So far, I found 1 star. Do I really have to go through every star? Star looks pretty green. That's a pretty small star. I'm impressed you even saw it. Okay. We have the little one here. How romantic. Well, I am a woman. It looks like it's a little large for me to carry, though. So far, 3 stars found. This star is yellow. The size, shape, and color are all exactly what I expect from a star. Guess you could say this is a typical star. I say it's mid-sized. Just trying to see something. That one's mid-size. Red is the biggest, right? And if yellow is mid-size, so that'll be the middle one. Blue is a little bit bigger. We have to go over here. It's so small and cute. So far, I found 5 stars. Okay, so... Or the purple one. I put pink, but it's fine. We know what the color is. This one is small, and the blue one would be kind of like a large. I kind of made them like sizing of... What's it called? Of, what's it called? I can't remember. Oh, they even made a waterfall. Hold on, doesn't it look like there's something built in the rock wall behind the waterfall? Yeah, the walkway goes under it, doesn't it? I wonder what's back there. Okay. We have the stars. Let's see. Bring the sun back up real quick. Turn the handle back from the back. Right. The light that went down when you turned the night is it came back. So now so now the sun is out and it's gone from the night to afternoon. I like that she's specifically saying it's afternoon. All right, what do we do here? There are 3 buttons on the panel. Push them, but nothing happened. Do you think they're broken? Maybe we just need to press them in specific order. Maybe. Okay. I was not sure how that actually played out when the arrow was going down, but I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the idea. The waterfall stopped. I guess that was the waterfall control panel. What a interesting set of codes. Oh fuck. Indentations are small and circular, huh? But there's only 4. Oh wait, we do have the metal detector. We have a knife too, but what do we do with the knife? Metal detector. Oh, the metal detector seems to respond to the tomatoes. Alright, grab it. Okay. No, just this one. Here you go. And then we do the knife and the... Okay, I get it. Now I get it. Onion. Alright, we lost the knife. We have a white coin. The white coin is very interesting because that means something about it. Oh, is this supposed to be the sun? Because the sun counts as a fucking star? That is actually pretty smart. Alright, yeah, we only have the coins now, so the only thing left to do is doing the coin puzzle. Okay. Don't know if this is correct, but we're seeing right now. What else? The green one. The green one's the tiniest one, so this goes here. Making sure I didn't mess up, so just give me a second. White coin I found in the onion. Oh, wait. The scales. Let me see if this actually has anything to do with it. I mean, I tried it earlier, but we didn't have, I guess, maybe anything. On the balance scale, you can weigh things. You can help the things so it looks some different weights. Like those 4 coins, for instance. Drag the coins. Okay. There you go. Okay. Green. Yellow. Red. White. Okay. Green is heavier, so that'd be yellow. green is less. No. Green is more than yellow. Okay, I'm doing the little, like, the thingies. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. Okay, do yellow again. White, check. Yellow is more than white. Okay. White is more than red. If I'm correct how this works, because this is just a check, right? It's not like a puzzle you gotta really solve. Unless you actually have to. You have to solve it. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa! It just flew everywhere. Do you think it's broken? Let's see. Oh, I get it. If you use the scale more than 5 times, it triggers a spring, which makes the whole thing shake. It'll do the same thing if you stop using it before you've reached 5 times. Oh, right. We need to pick up all the coins. Well, now I've got all the coins. Does it matter? Are we trying to balance them? Let me see. Wow! It went everywhere again. I guess we can't just take our time. I don't know if that's actually a puzzle or not, the more I think about it. I balanced it, but like it still didn't really like solve anything. Anyways, green here. If I think this is correct, the order. Red last. Might be reverse. There you go. It was the other way. I just messed up on how I did it. What's that noise? It sounded like something unlocking. Guess it wasn't just a panel. It was actually a door. And there's a screen inside it. Showing 9 stars. What are we supposed to do with them? Well, why don't you try touching it? Okay. Well, let's see. Green first, because it's the smallest star. We're gonna do it first, smallest to the largest. Then the purple next. Medium yellow. I hope that's not, yeah. Sorry, just like thing right here. Blue next. And then red. Maybe it's reverse. It was reverse. Huh, thought so. You did it. Hey, check out the screen. Okay, this is the regular one. The question is now the safe password. What's the opposite one that we need? We did it backwards, or we did it the smallest to largest, but now it's largest to smallest. Well, it was largest to smallest how we figured it out. The question now is, what is the other one? Right? That's like the only thing I'm trying to figure out. Maybe the order we found it in? It might be backwards, but we'll see. Then yellow, then it was green and the red. Oh, wow! It was the order we found it in going up the stream. Okay. Or down the stream, actually. Alright, let me just see that code. Moon. Okay. Checking making like C's. Alright, there you go. We solved it. And we didn't, and I thought there was another puzzle with the scale, but I don't think there was actually now. Alright. This room wasn't too bad. Completed in like around 20 minutes. Not terrible, wow. I am smart. Oh, this is the actual code. Oh, I got the secret code first. Wow. Yes, it opened. You did it. Good job, Sigma. There's a lot of stuff in here. Let's have a look at it then. First off, the map. Yep. In the upper left, it says floor B. The map we found in the crew quarters said floor A. So A is the top floor, and B is the bottom floor. I mean, I know we took the elevator down to get here, so right. Let's keep going. There are more things in the safe. The key card, it has a moon on it. That means, yeah, this is the moon card that the announcement was talking about. There's 2 of them in here, just like with the sun card. You should take one, Alice. Why? Well, you're a solo. Luna and Luna and I'll... Oh, give me 1 second. I am back. Oh, I should have let the song keep playing. But, sorry about that. Just need to help my grandma with something. Alright. Great. Thanks. So, what we got next? Looks like a piece of paper. What? What is this? Some kind of diagram. Doesn't make any sense. Wonder what it is. Oh well, just forget about it for now. We can always come back to it later. There's 2 more things in here. What is this? Looks like a note. It says IG immunoglobulin. I'm gonna write that down in case of anything. That's her Instagram handle, actually. No, this is like a... Sounds like a medication, but I'm not sure. Just highlight around it. Perfect. There you go. Or not highlight, but box it. What's immunoglobulin? It's another word for an antibody. You mean like the thing in your body that fights off bacteria and viruses and stuff? Yes. So what is it supposed to tell us? Honestly, I have no idea. Nothing left is a key. Yes, I think you're right. We should be able to use to open the door. Alright. Awesome. Before anything, though. Oh, you know what I realized? We don't have the key to that, to the thingy, what's it called? The grave, the tombstone. Whoa, it opened again. Is there something inside? Secret files. I mean, I don't have anything else. Might as well just go, right? Alright, let's open this door. Yes, let's. Please do. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. You know what I think about that? About the... what's it called? That tombstone? We'll come back to it later. No sooner had we stepped out of the garden, than I saw the 3 people I've watched leave through the green doors sometime earlier. Whoa, what are you guys doing here? Map? Oh, right. I took the map out of my pocket and spread it out for, in front of everyone, or in front of us.
確かシグマ、アリス、ルナの3人は青の扉の先へと進んだのじゃったな。入った部屋はどこじゃ?
This fan-shaped one, it's called the Bee Garden.
ビオトープ
It's this big dome with a bunch of plants in it. Look, you can go see it yourself later, alright?
それで天明寺さんたちは
おう、わしらは緑の扉からここち
And then we met up. Alright, right here.
ところで治療室って何？医務室とは違うの？
見てみるか？一度通り抜けた部屋なら自由に出入りすることが可能。
Oh, right, in this route, everyone's different, like the way how they're acting. Sure, let's have a look. I also remembered the old lady didn't die in this route. After a few moments of brisk walking, we found ourselves in a treatment center. Treatment center. What are those?
治療用のポッドらしい。この中に入ってシステムを起動させれば、ある程度の病気や怪我なら治すことができるみたいだ。
Oh, that's
だった
nuts.
らディオもこの中に入ったらどう？
なんでだよ。
あなたの頭いかれてるみたいだから。
喧嘩売ってんのかこら。
まあまあ、そう熱くなるなディオ。それこそこのポッドのお世話にならなければならなくなるぞい。
あ？どういう意味だよ。
さっき調べた時に教えたじゃろう。このポッドにはじゃからこの中に入って頭を
Wait, did you say cold sleep? That's where they freeze you, right? And you can stay that way for a really long
そうじゃ
time.
記録によると、およそ8時間前までこのポッドでコールドスリープにかけられていたに
3人って誰よ？
私たち9人の中に詳しいことはわからない。
Excuse me. Whew.
ただ、ここにある3台のポッド、
How long were they here?
そうな。開始された時のデータがきれい残されておったのは終了時のデータ。つい最近まで3人がこのポッドの中で眠っていたという。
一体誰なのかしら？その
少なくともアリスは違うじゃろう。
What? Why not
アリス
else?
はコールドスリープするのにこんな装置なんぞ必要ないからじゃ。違うかね？
は？何言ってるの？
とぼけなくてもよい。アリス、お前の体内の水分はアイスナインで構成されておる。アイスナインとは36度以下で
Oh,
凍
interesting.
ってしまう特殊な水のこと。したがって体温を36度以下に下げればコールドスリープなどという面倒なことをせずともお前は体をカチンコチンに凍らせることが。
なんでそんなことあなたが知ってるのよ？
四つ葉から聞いてな。
四つ葉から？
最初にラウンジを探索した時のことじゃ。
そう。
何がおかしい？
だって天明寺さん真に受けちゃってるみたいだったから。あなたは四つ葉にからかわれたのよ。もしも四つ葉が本当にそんなことを言ったんだとしたらね。つまり嘘、冗談ってこと。
冗談なわけがあるか。お前の体の中には確かにアイスナインを主成分とした液体が。
それはただの誤解なの。誤解っていうか一つの噂話。
With seemingly no other prompting, Alice launched into a lengthy explanation. It went something like this. At some point in the past, someone found a frozen mummified Egyptian queen. What was curious about this mummy, however, was that it remained frozen at room temperature. People began to refer to her as All Ice, which eventually became simply Alice. Rumors that her body was made of Ice 9 began to circulate, and her bizarre refusal to thaw only compounded them.
で、どういうわけか私がそのアリスなんじゃないかって疑われることになったのよ。凍りついたミイラが36度を超えて溶け出し、自由に動き回れるようになったんじゃないかって。それが私だって言うんだから。ほんと笑っちゃうわよね。
I think this is a new expression of
アリ
hers.
スの存在も常温では溶けない水のこともただの都市伝説に過ぎないのよ。
I think the ice is real, though, no? But why would people make that mistake about you in particular?
名前がアリスだったからじゃねえよな。アリスなんて名前のやつは5万といるわけだし。
Honestly.
顔立ちや身なりからそう思われたのではないでしょうか。
確かに私の佇まいには気品が満ち溢れているものね。エジプトの王女様だと勘違いされたとしても不思議じゃないわ。
God
でも
damn.
理由はそれだけじゃないみたいなのよね。私のことをそんな風に誤解した人物はこんなこと言ってたの。見たことがあるって。もちろん私はすかさず問いただしたわ。あなたはミイラのアリスを見たっていうの？だとしたらそれはいつ？どこで？そしたらその人途端に口ごもっちゃって、なんだかその姿を見たらかわいそうに思えてきて、だから私こんな風に言ってあげたの。もしも
Interesting we're
あなたが
diving
そう思う
into
のなら、も
this
しかしたら
now.
私はそのアリスなのかもしれないわ。今はただその時の記憶を失ってしまってるだけでって。それにしても四つ葉ったらどうしてそんなことを天明寺さんに話したりしたのかしら。からかうにしてもちょっと唐突な気がするんだけど。
ネタは何でもよかったんじゃねえか。きっと天明寺を試したんだよ。どんだけバカ正直に自分の話を信じ込むかってさ。
なるほど、あの子ならやりかねないわね。さてと、無駄話はこれでおしまい。
Temioji knows something, but he doesn't want to pop
コ
it
ー
out
ルド
yet.
スリープの件はもちろん気になるけど、今はもう一チーム、赤の扉を抜けた3人はもう倉庫に戻って。
At Alice's request, we made our way out of the treatment center. This is
みたいですね。
上の階の倉庫と同じような作りね。
おい、あそこ。
扉が3枚あるの。
表面が白く輝いておるが、
these might be the next set of chromatic
そのよ
doors.
うだな。見ろ、他の CD と同じような装置が。
I love that Fi's like, look, the word lock is there. Knowing Sigma, he was about to attempt to open these doors without looking at the sign next to it.
つまり次の CD は白の扉ということですね。
今までとは違って全部同じ色なのね。
とにかくこのことを他の3人にも知らせてやらんと。
I don't even think we've been to the white doors before yet. I think only once or twice we've been through the white doors already. Right, let's head back to Flore. Interesting. Did we really need an in-between cutscene for that shit? I'm telling you, the transitions of going from point A to point B really fucking annoy me in this game. Other than that, this game is pretty good. Story-wise, that's like the first route, if you do left route like standalone, it's like it's not as great, but the other routes become more clearer and better, and it kind of does like kind of play off of the first route that you do if you do left route first. Once you start playing every other route after doing the full-on left route, everything starts to make more sense, and like it starts to have like a coalition. But definitely the other routes are way better compared to the first route, the left route.
皆さん、お待ちしていたのですよ。
Did something happen?
クオーク君が
クオークがどうしたん？
倒れたのです。つい先ほど部屋を探索していた時に。とにかく今は四つ葉さんが付き添って見ていますが、いつ容体が急変してですか。
Tomiyaji shoved Kei aside and left left through the yellow door. I had a moment. The rest of us exchanged a few startled looks, then ran off after him. Everyone just looked at each other. Oh!
クオーク、おい、しっかりしろ。
Temioji grabbed Clark's shoulder and began to shake him desperately. It was Clover who stopped him.
ちょっと何やってんのよ。クオークは病人なんだよ。安静にしておかないと。
ではどうすればクオーク。
助かるって。単に貧血を起こしてぶっ倒れただけか。
いや、この子のことはわしが一番よ。この子が貧血を起こして倒れたことなど。
じゃあ救急車でも呼んだらどうだ。
貴様、ふざけておるのか。
ここは医務室。一通り診療用
肝心のお医者さんがいないとどうにもならないよね。
Alright. Well, we've got
ル
Luna.
ナ。
ほう、そういえばルナは医療関係。
本当なのかルナ。
ええ、まあ一応。
では頼む。クオークを見てやってくれ。
はい、わかりました。あそこに置いてあるの、正式名称核磁気共鳴現象を利用した。
That thing can tell us what's wrong
は
with
い、
Quirk.
おそらく。
それでは早速だが頼んだぞ。
了解です。
We kind of been through this scene before. The whole process took only a few minutes. The machine scanned Quirk's body, and within seconds, his results lit up on the screen. Words too complicated for me to understand. Scrolled across it, and as she read them, Luna's face grew dark. She bit her lip and just stood there for a moment, looking down at Quirk before she spoke.
わかりました。大変申し上げにくいのですが、クオーク君はとあるウイルスに。
ウイルス。
Oh no! Don't tell me.
ラジカル6と呼ばれる。
Have you heard of this virus? Radical 6, I mean.
ああ、天明寺とアリスには。
私とファイはルナから話を。
Dio and Luna were two of the first people to investigate the infirmary. They must have seen the newspaper clipping of the Quirk found. I'd stayed behind after the AB game, and they'd all split up and gone into different rooms. It seemed like, one way or another, everyone had heard about Radical 6.
まさかクオークがあのウイ。
Something about the tone of his voice seemed strange. Why wasn't it possible? Has Hemiyuji known about Radical 6 before the rest of us?
教えてくれ。どうすればクオークは。
アダムの解析結果によると、ラジカル6に効き目のある抗ウイルス薬アクセラビルという薬を投与すれば治療できるようです。
それじゃどこにある。この医務室にはないのか。
俺たちが調べた時には見当たらなかったな。
お前の話は信用できん。わしはルナに聞いておるんじゃ。
すみません。確かにこの部屋に抗ウイルス薬のようなものはありませんでした。
では他の部屋はどうじゃ。シグマ、さっきお前たちが調べた部屋は。
Nope, nothing like medicine. I mean, it was just like a park. Lots of vegetation and stuff, but no medicine.
ケイ、お前入った部屋に薬。
私たちが訪れたの確かに薬品の類はたくさん保管されていましたが、抗ウイルス薬とお式どこにも。
ああ、なんということじゃ。それではクオークは。
Look, just to be sure, the three of you went to the treatment center, right? And you're sure it wasn't there.
残念ながらそんなものはなかったよ。
Interesting, this route didn't have, wait, the lab was that one room, right? That Dio kind of threatened us with? Was that the laboratory? I don't know if that was a laboratory or not. Kay could be lying. Was Kay, Quirk, and who else was with them? Fi, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe Fi didn't see. I don't think Fi would lie. I think Fi would actually kind of work with everyone. Kay, however, has shown that he could be like a betrayer at times.
お前も見ただろ。治療室とは言っても主に治療用
No,
のポットが置い
oh
てある
no,
だけ
your
で。
treatment pods. You weren't with them. Treatment pods. That's it. If we put Quirk in one of those pods. For a moment, there was a silence.
クオーク。
ああ、クオーク、よかった。気がついたんじゃ。
近寄らないで。
何の真似じゃクオーク。
ごめんね、じっちゃん。僕には
やらなきゃ。なんじゃそれは。
決まってるじゃん。ここから
どうや。
こうやって。
Quirk's hand moved like lightning. He'd grabbed hold of the scalpel and was driving it straight toward his heart. Stop!
クソ、離せ、離せ。
Pretty tough for a kid. Hey guys, I could use a hand here.
了解だ。
わかりました。
私も手伝う。
やめろって言ってんだろ。
Temioji, what the hell are you doing? Get over here. Demioji, can you even hear me?
ああわかった。
なんで邪魔するんだよ。僕はここからこの肉体から脱出するんだ。魂になって肉体を捨てればこの建物からも出ることができる。だからお願いだよ。
Oh, interesting.
死なせてくれ。僕を殺してくれ。誰か僕を。
Jesus, this kid's lost it. Hey, somebody get the scalpel away from him. Good, thanks whoever that was. Quirk barely even seemed to notice the loss of the scalpel. He continued to scream and writhe like he was possessed. What are we going to do? We've got to calm him down somehow.
ルナ。はい。この部屋に鎮静剤は。
ですが
なんだ。
マンドレイン。
例の麻酔薬のハングルに仕込まれてる。
だったらそれで構わ撃って。大丈夫だ。ただの麻酔薬だよ。命に危険はない。
しかし
いいから早く撃つんだルナ。
わかりました。
What Quirk said, I don't think he said it on the other line. I think he just said that he wanted to die or something related to it, but...
よし、今だ。撃って。
I love that I hear Kagura's voice in Quirk, because I know the voice I've heard the voice actor from Gintama, which is Kagura, and it's so crazy that I picked it up I think last week or the week before. And I was like, that's Kagura's VA. I know that scream. It's crazy how well she does.
呼吸数、血圧、現在クオーク君は深い。
Alright, guess we're good for now.
麻酔が効いている時間はどれぐらい持ちそうなんだ。
おそらく数時間は目覚めることはないかと。
それにしてもすごいバカ力だったな。
多分ウイルスのせいだと思います。脳内の理性を司る部分が麻痺してしまったため抑制が効かなくなってあんな怪力を。
なんでわかるんだよ。
それは
もしかしてお前ラジカル6のこと詳しく知ってるんじゃないの？
そんなわけないじゃない。この医務室で発見したあのシーン、あそこに書かれていたこと以外は。嘘なん
That
て
the
ついて
truth?
どうするんですか。さっきのは他のウイルスの場合でも同じような症例が報告されているので。ねえ、だったらさ、クオークが自殺しようとしたのもラジカル6のせいなの。ええ、おそらくそうだと思います。
So what kind of virus is Radical 6? I turned and followed Temioji's gaze. Oh fuck, it was Alice who took the damn knife. There stood Alice, her hand wrapped tightly around the scalpel. Apparently she had been the one to take it away from Quirk. The longer I looked at her, however, the more I wondered if she'd taken it to protect him, or for some reason, more sinister reason. She didn't seem stable. In fact, she looked far more like Quirk had a moment ago than I was entirely comfortable. In fact, she looked far more like Quirk had a moment ago than I was entirely comfortable with. Her eyes were flat and hollow. Her face was in an emotional mask. She was not well. Alice? Hey, are you feeling okay?
みんな死ぬんだ。どうせ間もなく起こるバイオテロ。
おい、何言ってんだよお前。
わからないの。人類はウイルスがばらまかれて、大人も子供たちもみんな一人残らずし。だったらいっそ。
Wait, Alice! Oh, fuck. We were all too stunned to even try to restrain her. We just stood there as she spun around and leapt through the door. Damn it. I was gonna say go. I shook myself and took off after her. But those few moments of hesitation had put too much distance and too many doors between us. Yet, which way did she go? Right? Or left? I was still trying to decide which, when everyone else poured, out of the infirmary. Yeah, I don't know which way she
と
went.
にかく遠くへ行ってしまう前に早く。
わかりました。
ただ見つけたとしてもくれぐれも彼女を刺激しないように。分かったな。
Gotcha.
それから念のためてアリスの捜索はそれでいいな。
わかった。
よし、再開。
Alright, split into two groups. At Five's command, we scattered, filtering off into different doors. As I ran, I thought, where should I look for Alice? Perhaps the lounge would be a good bet. Yeah, wasn't one of the routes where we discovered that how Alice died was self-inflicted? Yes, because it had the scalpel, I believe, too. I don't think it was the knife that Dio had. No one here, huh? Damn, where did she go? Complaining wasn't going to help anything. I need to go look somewhere else. Shoot, nothing in the treatment center either. We need to find her quick, and she's gonna do something bad if we hadn't stopped Quirk. I need to hurry. Head to the garden next. Yep, I was like, I know it's gonna fucking do the damn map. We couldn't just do open door, go through, we come to the garden. We couldn't just do that. Oh my god. Alice! Only a few steps from the walkway through the grass when I stopped short. Oh my god, okay. My bad. Woo!
私もついさっきそうしたらそれでこれから医務室に運ぼうかと。
And she's alive?
脈拍目立った外傷もないから。
So she's just unconscious. What about the scalpel?
途中のどこかで落としたんじゃないか。とにかくこいつを医務室へ運ぼう。さあ、
Right. Alice was slower than I expected, and Fi and I managed to set off toward the infirmary at a brisk trot.
Minasan, よく聞いてください。さっきと同じアダム、セータ、
それで
クオーク君と同じです。アリスさんも。
On our way back, Fi had gone off to retrieve the rest of the participants. 7 sets of eyes widened as Luna spoke.
そんな、どうしてアリスは一体どうなっちゃうの？さっきも言いましたが、治療する方法はラジカル6に効き目の、正確に言うとイミューンボディなのです。
イミューン
ウイルスを駆逐する抗体のことです。それを抽出、生成したものが。
Wait, what about those pods in the treatment center? Can't we just stick them in those?
私もそう思って治療室に行き、ポットのことですが。
They can't cure
は
it.
い、一時的に症状の進行を抑えることならできますが、やはり抗ウイルス薬アクセラビルがないと。
じゃがひとまず現状を維持することならできるんじゃ。
ええ。
ならば考えるアリスと治療室へ。
I just spoke to Miyoji, moved over to Quirk, and lifted his small unconscious body off the bed. Quirk shifted slightly as some energy moved him, and something fell out of his pocket with a soft clink. I bent down slowly and picked it up. Is this medicine?
薬何の薬なんだ
Hold on. There's a name on the label here. Axel Excalibur.
アクセラビル
Axelavir.
それですよシグマさんそれこそがまさに
でもどうしてクオークのやつが
もしかしたらあの時に
Earlier when?
私と四葉さんと
Okay, so Quirk had it. So he wasn't
というところを
unconscious or fainted or anything like
赤
that.
の扉の先にあった部屋です。そこでクオーク君は何かを
He
隠
did.
す気が
He
あった
hid
の
it.
かどうかは分かりません。何しろその直後にクオーク君は倒れてしまったの。当然のことながら尋ねることもポケットをそれどころではなかったのです。一刻も早くクオーク君をこの医務室に運ばなきゃ。
そんなけとにかくこうしてさあルナ早くその薬を
アリスはどうなる？
アリスはクオークの後で構わ
それはすみませんできな
の
薬は一人分しかないからそれに薬を投与するには今ですがその注射銃のトリガーを引けるのは一つの
要するに2回に分けて撃つの
はい
While we all stood stunned, Fi moved, stepping over to Quirk. She quickly ran her hands through his clothes, then stepped back with a frown and a small shake of her head.
ダメだ他には持っていない
Do you think there might be some more back in the laboratory?
残念ながら
そんな
なんということ
薬は一人分
1人しか助
一体
アリスさんクオーク君か
What the hell is this? There's no way we're only going to save one of
で
them.
はど
Do I have to spell it out? We're going to save them
ど
both.
うやって
That's, I need to calm down, think. There had to be some way to save both of them. It was there, I knew it. IG Replicator.
レプリケーターは
This is when we went there.
レプリカを作る機械のことだね。
That's kind of fire. So it's like a copy machine.
多分頭についてる。
Any ideas?
イカのバター焼きのことかな。
I got it! That's it! I've got it! The IG replicator in the laboratory. It's an immunoglobulin replication machine.
複製
Oh.
機
Open the fourth lock in VLR. Hey, I opened the fourth lock without really meaning to open the fourth lock. The story just kind of continued. It can copy immune globulin antibodies. Luna just said Excalibur is made from antibodies. That means we can make more Excalibur. I said Excalibur.
確かにバイオラボには IB それはあの部屋を探索した。
うん。でも結局何の
そうですけれど
I saw it when I was in the laboratory.
アリスを探してた時じゃねえか
No, Dio was wrong. I didn't go to the laboratory when I was looking for Alice. I didn't think I had ever been to the laboratory, so how did I know about the IG replicator?
とにかくシグマさんの話が確かならアクセラビルは複製そうすれば言うまでもなく
ではバイオラボとやら
おう病気が進行す
We all nodded. Wait, we can't leave them here all alone. Luna, do you think you could stay behind and look after them?
はいわかりました
Alright then, let's go. We should also have someone else be here too, in case one of them wake up and... Well, Quirk isn't gonna wake up. Alice, on the other hand, might, and it just might be a whole problem. Oh, they even did the Ford
ここが
capsule.
バイオラ
そうですね。
それで IB
Right there. Right here,
こい
see?
つを使えばこう
I think so.
ねえ、だったら早く
Calm down, alright? Don't rush me. I carefully lowered the small veil of Excalibur into the slot on the side of the machine. There's a dunk! An empty vial already protruded from the other side. Presumably that was where the duplicated Axelaver would go. Ready when I push the button.
前置きはいいからさっさと始め
Right. And pressed. So can this make more than 2? Or 1, I guess? Because it's already a copy. Did it work?
見ろよ。空だった方の小瓶の中に。
シグマさんがセットした方の薬はそのままですね。中身が減っているというわけでもありません。
つまり成功ってこと？
そうじゃなければ困るわ
Alright, let's get this thing back to the infirmary. I reached down and pulled both vials from the machine, intending to slip them deftly into my pockets. Ah,
どうし
shit.
たんじゃ
Sorry, my hand slipped.
薬の瓶を落としたのね。
Yeah, just one
な
though.
んということ割れたらどうするん
Come on, if it's broken, then we can have just made another copy. Before Tomiyoshi could reply if I spoke. I was surprised to hear her voice coming from near my feet. I looked down to see her staring intently at something beneath the table.
ほら見た瓶が割れて
いや違うこの通り
She held it up in one hand but didn't move her eyes.
じゃあ一体どうした？
見ればわかる
She slid back from the table quickly and silently. The rest of us bent down and looked. Another bomb. A bomb.
おい、マジかよ。これで2つ目じゃねえか。
ケイの言った通りになっ
やっぱり爆弾は
K 四つ葉
いえ、
なかったね。
するとこいつはアリスを探していた時
一体誰がこん
We were all looking for Alice. It could have been any of us.
いや全員わしはあの時そこで麻酔薬を打たれたクオークのことを
だから自分だけは容疑者、そういうことか。
ええ
しかし天明寺さん、あなたがずっと医務室にいたともしかしたらこっそりと抜け出してこの
バカな何を言っておるわしがクオークを一人残してこんなところにやってくるわけが
Tomiyo was still staring furiously at Kay and Clover spoke up. Asked Kay and Clover. I turned to and told. Whoa. Sorry, I'm like burping today. I turned in time to see her grab something from under the table.
メモリーカード
どこにあったんだ？
テーブルの土台と床の隙間に挟まっ
爆弾を仕掛けた犯人。私たちがここを調べたと。
Do you think they dropped it accidentally?
残したのでないとするなら。
中にはどんなデ
Let's take a look. Could I see it for a minute? I plucked the card out of her hand and looked around the room. Nothing. Shoot. No dice. We'll need to plug it into something that can read memory cards, but I don't see anything here. Come on, if you knew I'd... What? Come on, if I knew I'd be doing it.
アンビデックスゲームプレイヤー所定の時刻
おい、そろそろ上の階に戻らないとまずい。
ああそう二人分の行為
この爆弾はどうするのです？
そのままにしておくしかねえ。アリスは触れたらやばいって言ってたしな。
ですが、
やむをえん爆弾をどうするのかについてはひとまず保留としようそれよりも今はアリスとクオークを助け
Right. So we're back in the infirmary, give them the Axelaver, and then head to the Floor A warehouse. And let Alice betray me.
これでもうじきに二人は回復すると
Her voice was quiet as she backed away from Alice and Quirk. In her hand was the injection gun. She carefully removed the empty vial and placed it gently in the cabinet with the other ones. While we were in the laboratory, Luna had moved Quirk to a crude cot. They both looked peaceful as they slept. The madness I'd seen on their faces before was completely gone.
本当に
はい解析の結果複製にもちろんもう一つのオリジナルの方それらを二人に投与したので
間もなく
そのはずです
本当に
Clover grinned. Agreed. I gave her a reassuring pat on the back.
さあみんな安堵の気分に早く AB ルームに向かわなきゃ。
一息ついてる暇もねえ。
Come on, let's go. The floor A warehouse is waiting. Man, I'm tired. Where's Tenmyoji?
ああ、天
What?
どうして？
部屋を出る間際、天明寺が来ないことに気づい、おい行かないのかって。そしたらあいつ、
抗ウイルス薬を打ったとはいえ、わしはここに残る。
なるほど。するとそろばんであるファイさんの対戦相手はディオさん
101, huh?
大丈夫だファイ、心配するな。天明寺がいようとなぜかわかるか？
私の BP が1。
その通りだ。お前が協力を選び、俺が裏切りを選んだ。お前の BP はマイナス1になってて、そこまでして俺はこのゲームに勝ち、だからお前も分かったよな。
ディオさんのペア、その BP もだからディオさんが今日、そういうことですね。なぜならファイさんが裏切りに投票してしまう。
まあそういうことだ。
一騎打ちって言うと私と K も同じだね。 K のペアであるクオーク。
そうなりますね。
How many BP do you guys have?
私は
同じく
But they have free reign. That'll be a tough one then.
協力と裏切りに分かれたら裏切りを選んだ方が。
They're probably both gonna be trading at 0.
K、 こんなことを言っても
分かっています。お互いに協力をもちろん裏切りと裏切りでは何の実りもありません。であるならば2人で協力を選んで2点を獲得。
じゃあ絶対だからね。
え
え、約束だよ。
約束です。
投票。
おい、まずいぞ。早く部屋に入。
わかりました。行きましょう。
Alright, let's see if Dio will keep his word. Let's see if those two would also keep their word. Dio, K, Fi, and Clover all took off immediately, heading into the AB room. Counting from the left, Dio went into the room 3, K went into room 4, Fi and Clover went into rooms 5 and 6, respectively. That left Luna and myself. What do you think about taking the one on the far left? That settled with the AB and we headed into the AB room number 1. Up. We'll choose ally, but apparently it would be a bad result since it's like literally following up. It'll be crazy if Luna just goes, what if you pick Betrayed? So we can get points.
シグマさん、今更こんなことを言うのもなんですが。
Oh, interesting. So if you unlock, it would actually like show you that you did this route. Like, yeah, lock number 4, lock number 3, somewhere around here.
対戦相手のアリスさんですから。
They're saying we should pick ally, right? Because Alice is going to default to that anyway. I know. It's not really fair to betray someone who isn't voting. Luna's face broke into a warm, happy smile, not to be sappy, but it was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the non-honorary game didn't seem so scary.
投票9、8、7、6、5、4、
Oh my god, we don't need the countdown!
1。
Ally. We'll pick Betray after this event.
アンビデックスゲー結果はお疲れ。アンビデ
Alright. Alice pops out of the room. I already know what's happening. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go have a look at the results.
アンビデックスゲーム第2ラウンドの結果を一度画面にご注意。
Alright, let's see who is a dick to who. Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it. Huh?
結果は以上のように確定しました。
I want to see what happens with this when this comes up.
各自
-1. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, I rubbed my eyes and looked again. No, that's not possible. How can Alice's vote be betrayed? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic superior. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma, しっかりしろ。
ねえ、シグマ起きて。
シグマさん、シグマ。
そんな、どうして。
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed that the door on the second AB room was open. No one had gone into the room. I'd watched them all, and yet there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Alice. The world was gradually going black, and my mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Had she run in at the last moment after Lou and I entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Then the darkness closed over my mind as well, and my questions were gone forever. RIP. Yeah, it's crazy that we saw her, but like no one said anything either. Like as in like calling out to her, like, Alice, what are you doing there? Blah, blah, blah. But then again, he was, like, fading out at that point, so that maybe he didn't hear anything that, like, a commotion happened afterwards. I kind of wish you see other characters' perspectives as, like, Sigma dies, so that way it's, like, to know, like, what a little bit of the events occurred after that. But time to betray. It would be crazy she also betrayed too at this point. Yeah. Even on fast forward, the announcer thing is slow. What?
2 1
Betray. My gut feeling.
アンビデックス結果はお疲れ。アンビデック
Maybe we'll discover what's going on with Alice. Maybe this is the Alice route. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room.
シグマさん、裏切りを選ぶなんてフェアじゃない。そう言って。
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I picked betray instead. It had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to the betray button against my will. Right, well, we should go see the results.
わかります。どうなっているかなんて。
The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran towards the projector. Anything to get away from those eyes. It's over here.
アンビデックスゲーム一同
It would be crazy if everyone picked Ally here. I'll be like, what? She betrayed. She betrayed. Okay, we have something aligned.
結果各
Stick on the one, you know? What? I wasn't possible. I blinked, I rubbed my eyes, and I looked again. No, how can Alice's vote be betray? That's not possible. She's just there. Alice? She was standing inside the second room from the left, the room that should have been emptied. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move towards us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were oh my god! It seemed we were united in our surprising confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
やってくれるわね。 私が医務室にいたままだったらどうするつもりだったの？この卑怯者。
Me, a coward? You've got some balls saying that to me after you picked Betray. Why are you even here?
打って天明寺さんからありがとう。その件についてだけは素直にお礼を言っとくわ。
でも麻酔薬の効果は。
ええ、切れてないみたいね。おかげで頭はガンガンするし、クラクラ。私麻酔薬に対するそういう風に鍛えられてるから、多分ゼロボスはそのこと知ってたのね。ここに拉致されてきた時には普通の人の何倍もの薬が投与されたんだと思う。とにかくそんなわけで私は医務室で目覚めたので、天明寺さんから事情を聞いて
So you showed up right after we'd gone into the AB room.
ギリギリのタイミングです。確か締め切り時。
わざわざ裏切りを選ぶために。
そうよ、いけない？実際に来て正解だったじゃない。あなたたちの投票先はもしも私が医務室に留まったままだ。
つまり自衛のためだったと。
え
You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose Betray because you wait, what? Because you wanted to. You had 6 BP. If I'd pick Ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right? Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
バカなこと言わない。あなたたちが裏切りを選ぶ。だから。
Tell the truth.
大体なんで私ばっかりが責める。あの結果をよく見。殺人未遂を犯した人間なら。
ファイ and Dio。
そうよ。ディオが協力を選んでいたら、ファイは天明寺さんを。ファイが協力を選んでいた。
こんな言い方をするのもなんですが、四つ葉さんと
Yeah.
どちらか一方が協力を選んでいたら。
I turned to look at the results again. Before I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster: Betray. Whatever trust we managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs, or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we never managed to escape. We'd been trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You've probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
すみません。少し考えたいことが一人にさせてください。
俺も行かせてもらう。こういう殺伐とした感じ苦手なんだよ。悪いな。
Dio.
それでは私も。
Dewfly? Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
ほらね、これが答えよ。結局みんな自分のことだけしか考えてんだから、私だけを悪者みたいに言わないでくれる？さあ、行くわよ。
体の方は本当に心配。
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
みんな。
You aren't going to leave too. Are you sure I chose Betray?
でも私きっと手が滑っただ。そうでしょ。
I chest her, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed throughout the warehouse.
アンビデックスゲームゲートはなおこれを
As many times as we want,
カ
huh?
ードキーを使えばどうやらそういうことみたいですね。ところで
Wonder whose route this is.
バングルを見せてもほら。
Because we have Luna's
出
route.
たじゃないですか。
If you look at the flowchart, we have Dio, we have Clover, and we have Luna over here. It could be Alice's route, but I'm not too sure.
AB ゲート
Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a blue boy. Or CM boy. What about you?
私は紫。
I wonder what the others are.
確かめてみないとわかる。
We got about 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So, what should we do
みんな
now?
バラバラになってしまいましたね。
Yeah, physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AV game if nobody trusts anybody. We'll never be able to get out of here.
その目的があるといいんですが、そうすれば
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like the pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray, including me.
じゃあ敵を見つける
An enemy.
共通の敵です。例えば
After coming back from the table, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice Cork the X-Laver. Yeah, that might work. We can, if we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them. But how do we figure out who it
手が
is?
かりはないんですか？
Clues. That's right, the memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it towards her.
何ですか？
I told you a memory card. It was under the bomb we found at the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it. Yeah, I don't know what's on it though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
それじゃあ手がかりに。待ってください。そういえばこれ。
は？
医務室です。リオさんとクオーク君と一緒。あの時にこれと
Then
中身を確認することがそこにあったモニターに。
Luna and I explored the infirmary, nearly running into Alex, Clover, and Tenmyoji. Quirk was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
何しに来たの？
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. What's up, Sai? Quickly as I could, I explained the secret bomb, the second bomb, and the memory card, and how we'd come to the infirmary in the hopes that we could discover the content of the latter.
わかったわ。
それじゃあ早速調べてみようよ。
シグマ。
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot on, under the screen, exactly the right size for the memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this?
22文字のアルファベットが6行か。
1行目、3行目、5行目と2行目、4行目、6行目は全く同じ文字でできてるみたいだけど。
Sorry, I'm just looking to see if the code is here. I don't see it. Nope. Yeah, I don't see it.
Tsuma리, 1行目と2行目の繰り返しになっているということですね。
This some kind of code or
デタラメ
something.
な文字列とは思えん。おそらくそうじゃろう。
他にデータは？
ないみたいです。
All we get is this gibberish. Hey Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
これを見て何か気づいたことはない？
気づいたこと？
研修の時に見たでしょ？これに似たものを。
Training.
これって
やっとわかったみたい。
おい、2人だけで納得しとらんで、わしらにも教えん。
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
これは多分とあるテロ組織のクレイドールズっていう名前の組織。
For some reason, I felt like I heard that name before.
何なんですか？
世界を破滅に導こうとしている不穏な集団よ。
そいつらが使っているのがこの暗号表というわけか。
もちろんパターンはいくつもあるけど、これはそのうちの一つだと。
じゃあ
そのクレイドールズのメンバーってこと？
ええ、断言はできないけど、おそらく。
Damn, I got a ton of questions for you, but let me start with this one. What the heck does this thing
そ
say?
んなのわかるわけないでしょ。解読するためのキーがないんだから完全にお手上げよ。
四つ葉もか。
アリスがわからないのに。
そうか。
Not much we can do then. We can come back to the code stuff later. I got another question. Alice Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code? You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
悪いけど、
Why
あな
not?
たが爆弾を仕掛けた犯人、クレイドールズのメンバーかもしれん。
That's idiotic. Of course
そう
I'm
じ
not.
ゃないっていう保証なんてどこにも敵に情報を与えるわけにはいかないのよ。
I'm not your enemy, I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please, we need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information, we need your help. Fine, if you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
ごめんなさい。
Yikes. Before I could blink, she leapt up and run out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice! I took off after her.
いつまでついてくるつもり？
Until you tell me what you
だから
know.
四つ葉に聞けばよかったじゃない。あ
Clover.
の子が私の仲間だってもう気づいてるんでしょ？
Well, yeah.
だったら
I wanted to hear from
な
you.
んでよ。
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters, or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
何よそれ。
Fucking what, am I ripping her up right now in this situation? She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. We walked down the path to where it ended next to the pond. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface on the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
憎んでないの？
What?
私は
Why?
あなたを殺そうとしたのよ。
You mean in the AB game?
怖かったのよ。突然こんなところに閉じ込められて、わけのわからないゲームをさせられて。爆弾のことだってそう。あれを見つけた時、冷静に話してたように聞こえたかもしれないけど、本当は怖くて仕方がなかったの。それに輪をかけるようにあのことが重なって。
What do you mean?
多くが倒れたって聞いて、みんなで医務室に駆けつけた時のことよ。あの時私、みんなが何を言ってるのかまるでわからなかったの。周りのすべての光景がなんていうか早送りの映像のように見えて、そのうち自分が誰なのかもわからなくなって、まるで自分が自分じゃないようなそんな感覚にとらわれて。
It was probably the Radical Six.
多分そうだと思う。その後のことはよく覚えてないけど、とにかく医務室で目覚めた途端立ちまだから私は一刻も早く脱出したいって、そう思って、あなたが死ぬかもしれないなんて考えもしなかったわ。あなたが死ぬかどうかなんてどうでもよかったのよ。ほらね、憎いでしょ。殺したくなった？私のこと。
What? Do what?
殺しなさいよ。さあ。
What the hell? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate
嘘
you.
よ。一歩間違えば死ぬところだったのよ。
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it. What Riz game am I doing?
どうしてそんな風に優しくしてくれるの？なんだか亡くなった父のことを思い出す。
That's who you were after, right? The people who killed your dad. Did they have anything to do with the Myrmidons? Or clay dolls, they call it in Japanese.
四つ葉に黙っててくれる？
Ha, come
もしも
on.
黙っててくれるなら、口止め料として教えてあげるわ。クレイドールズのことも、それから。
Sure, my lips are sealed.
本当に？
What, crying? I don't remember any crying.
それじゃあ
What crying? I don't remember any crying. I took a deep breath and began. Okay, we're gonna go into fucking deep lore now. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to the life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red, puffy, and she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. Oh, and he was working on cloning, and the Dio situation, like, all of them are clones. Yeah, I remember this now. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face, I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to a special office of internal security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. Like, alright, breathe. Organization and other serious I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons. Although at the time that name didn't mean anything to me. They respected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason why for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his name or age. Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother's supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be sharp as ever. Jesus. Whew, okay. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in the building in Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind steering the wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I expected. They told me they'd been locked inside of the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companion to a soy sauce, whatever. Headquarters, we decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the police who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll call H for now, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. Wilson, his pharmaceutical company and major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try to give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of a certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard this particular ability before and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness the power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidon intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access a morphogenetic field, and we wanted to use the ability to use. Whatever. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with an infiltration and investigation of the Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hope that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. When I let the chance pass me by, perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. Lab was fake and Clover was captured almost immediately. Got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last in a basement room I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned that he died from ruptured organs and eternal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, the Myrmidon in a mass had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise. Choice. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There was a morgue, there in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on the steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. The soul. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness, not for the monsters who'd put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay even if I had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I never know if I'm saying this word right. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with the recklessness. This time our operation would succeed. This time I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028, right, this is like 2 years from now, was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AV room.
これがクレイドールズと私に関することのすべて、もちろん細かい部分については走っ
Thank
て
you,
る
a
けど
break from fucking reading. Yeah, thanks. She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up. I don't know how long that portion was, but it felt like it was 40 minutes. Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
答え
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs, and based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that person is a Myrmidon,
ええ
right?
そうね
I agree that we need to figure out who they
突き止める
are.
って言ってもど
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any ideas or any clues?
思い当たることね。あの暗号表を解読できれば、もしかしたら何かわかるかもしれないけど。
How can we do
だから
that?
言ったでしょ。そのためにはキーが必要。それがわからないことには。
What's a
キ
key?
ーはキーよ。解読するための鍵のこと。クレイドールズはその鍵として長い桁数の数字を使っていて。
Wait, a long string of numbers. Could that be... I didn't write the numbers. Oh my god! If Sigma knows, then okay. 7815361098838094241990551.
何なのよその数字は。
Open the 5th lock. There was 2 locks on this route. 2 locks were on this route. I mean, I get it. This is like a long section, but damn. I was almost as surprised as she was. The numbers had just kind of appeared in my mind, and I was saying them before I knew I was doing. Alice looked at me incredulously and stared back.
待って、今の数字。それって1984493551を3乗した数じゃない。
The fact that you know that is crazy.
だから今すぐそれを素因数分解すると19844935。
You're talking about reducing an integer to a series of prime numbers that you multiply together to get it, right? Fucking, you have to be like a math league to like know that shit. Like if you have 30, then you'd get 2 times 3 times 5, right?
中学校で習ったでしょ。
I mean, yeah, I learned prime numbers or like the concept of it ages ago, but to go into depth with like a massive number, they're saying that is a prime, and if you multiply it by itself 3 times, you'd get, oh my god! Don't tell me you just did all of that in your
いい
head.
え、暗算よ。頭の中で計算したの。
Simple is fucking a stretch, Alice. That's
言ったでし
impossible.
ょ。数学は人よりも得意だって。
Bitch, you're a living calculator. The fuck you mean I'm better than most people? That's not better
そう
at
いうあ
math.
なただってたった今膨大な桁数の数字をスラスラ私に言わせればところで
I didn't know what to say. What would I tell her? That it just came to me?
分かったでもとにかく今の数字がクレイドールズが素数でたらめな25桁の数字その3乗項がってことは25桁の数字は何者かの手によって
could you explain that with
だ
small
から
words?
要するに1984493の3乗がまだわからんさっき医務室で見た暗号表モニターにはなんて出力
I think the first row was
2行目は
I think
それにしても私たちの組織に欲しいぐらいだ
well keep going. How do we decode
今の
that?
文字列にさっきの素数198449351を当てはめてみるのよ
How do we do that?
左上から順番に1文字目のアルファベット9文字目のアルファベットといった感じで文字を拾い読みしてそうすればた
Right over what she said in my head. The prime number Alice had given me was. So what would we get if we picked out letters that she'd explained? The first letter would be C, it's the top left. Then you move 9 to the right, which will give you O. Then 8 more to the right. Eventually we get a word, and that word is fucking awesome. Do I have a code or an archive to this shit? Did I never look at these? We have to have it somewhere. So much information. I need the thing to know what I'm typing. I only have C and O right now. There's two that I'm missing. I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know what to do. It would be nice if I'm able to, like, check the damn thing, but I don't have it in my archive, so I can't really fucking get it right now. Fucking A, man. Alright. I'm just gonna look it up. They didn't think of like, hey, this is how you could check the thing. Hold on, maybe I press a button that I didn't check. Put everything real quick. Nothing. I got nothing. All right. And I would have done it myself and at least let me see this screen. I did it. Completed. That's it. That's the answer.
それって確か
Yeah. I did exactly what you told me to do, and the word I got is completed. Well, actually, it's completed. The code and the letters repeat every 2 lines. It just repeats.
そう私は暗号表の文字列を正確あなたがそこまで強く言うなら
I'm definitely
わ
certain.
かったわでもコンプリーティッドってな
Aside from the obvious, you mean? I'm guessing here it means mission accomplished? So, that's what the transmitter was for.
やつって誰よ通信機って
I barely even heard her. Suddenly, my mind was full of memories that hadn't been there for a moment before. It was like a wave had washed away the sand, revealing a bed of precious gems underneath. Damn it, why hadn't I realized it before? I could remember a series of numbers, but not this. At least I remember right now. Dio was the member of the Myrmidons, and not just any member, he was their leader. That meant he had to be the one who planted the bombs.
ね
Yeah.
えたら質問やつって一体誰の通信機っていうのは何
I didn't trust myself to try and explain it to her. More than likely, she'd just think I was insane. Even I could barely make sense of the sudden influx of new information.
まさかあなたがくれ
If I was, do you really think I'd reveal myself
ま
like
あ
this?
確かにそれもそうね
Point. Out of nowhere, Clover appeared.
こんなところ探したんだからね
Really?
今みんな B 会のみんなっていうかルナとクオ
どうして
We still got 45 minutes until the white door is
知って
open.
る
Oh, okay. Hey, wait a minute. I thought UK and Quirk didn't know about the white
医務
doors.
室で天明寺さんからそれでどこにあるか教えてくれるって言うから天明寺さんに連れら
クオークのことは
うんそしたらそこにファイとケイとディオもいていきなりファイと天明寺さんとディオの3人が喧嘩を
What?
なんでも原因は何
According to Clover, the last AB game had been the cause of their fight. Even though Tamiyuji only had one BP, Phi had chosen Betray. They started to fight, and since Dio had pressed Betray on behalf of his team, eventually he got dragged into it. In two.
でもそれってなんかファイだって BP は1だったんだから正当防衛だと思うけど
ああもういいからとにかく今はケイが必死になって仲裁に入ってる
Okay, okay. Come on, Alex, let's go.
了
Everyone was just like yelling at each other while we were just having a calm, collected conversation for like the past 20 or so minutes. And like I learned more about Alice, and I'm just like, I know the code, and she's like, what? All 4 of them were still there when we arrived. They seemed to have calmed down a bit, but the tension in the air was almost visible. Felt like I stepped into a room full of flammable gas. Even the smallest spark could turn the whole place into a raging inferno. Even Kay, usually so calm and collected, was standing Ramrod straight with his hand balled into a fist on his side. I looked at Alice, pursed my lips, and then headed over to the angry knot of people occupying most of the room. Clover, tell me what's going on. this whole thing is stupid. You need to knock it off.
俺のどこがこっちは命がかかっておるんじゃぞ。
I know, but yelling at each other isn't going to solve your problem. The best thing for us to... What did he call him? You self-righteous dick. Yeah. The best thing for us to do right now is to trust each other and get through this. Wouldn't you agree?
わしを殺そうとした相手をどう。
それはこっちも何度も言うようだが、天明寺、お前はディオに投票権を委ね、その時点で
じゃからあの時はクオークのこと。
そんなものは言い訳。大体お前は私が裏切りを選んだことについて糾弾してくるが、だったら何か私が協力を選ぶべきだっただ。もしもそんなことをしていたら、
それはお互い様じゃろ。もしもディオが協力を選んでいたらと。
二人ともそろそろやめませんか。シグマさんが言った通り、今は
お前が言う四つ葉を裏切って
殺人未遂よりははるかにマシだと思います。
だからあれは天明寺を救うためにだな。
God damn it, enough already. I roared with fury and my voice echoed and rebounded off the wall of the warehouse. Everyone fell silent. I didn't know how long the silence would last, so I decided to put it on the table. There was only one way I was going to be able to take control of the situation. Guys, listen to me. We really don't have time for this. I was met with a number of glares, but I soldiered on. See, the thing is, I figured out who planted the bombs.
誰なの？
もしかしてさっき言ってた。
Sort of, yeah. I know which one of you it is.
やつとは。
どういうことなのか。
I don't think I need to. They're going to admit their guilt in just a few minutes. You're all going to hear straight from the horse's mouth. Or I guess I should say, Dio's mouth.
何を言い出すかと思えば、この俺が犯人だとでも言うのか。
Yes, I do.
人を疑うからにはそれ。
I'm not accusing you. I'm just stating a fact.
その根拠は何だって聞いてんだろうが。
But as it was, I knew taunting alone wouldn't be enough to make Dio confess. He just played dumb, he was good at it, and I'd get nothing. That meant I was going to have to trick him. Well, you see, I'm actually from Free the Soul.
なんだそれ。聞いたこともね。
Don't play dumb, Dio. Or should I call you left? Brother ordered me to come here. Keep an eye on you. I was quick, but for just a moment I saw his eyes twitch. I left on the moment of weakness like a hungry dog on a steak. Fine, skepticism is understandable, admirable even. But perhaps this would convince you. I pressed forward, pulling out every fact I could remember. Told Dio about brother's background and how his younger brother had been murdered, and I mentioned casually that the Myrmidons were all clones of a single person. So, still not convinced. How about this? Do a little prime factor the decomposition on that, and you'll get. I'm not trying to read that whole number to the third power. If I'm not who I say I am, how on earth could I possibly know that? Finally. So let's start over, shall we? I was sent here to watch your every move. Seems our wise and noble brother doesn't trust you. He suspects betrayal. I assure you, I'm not. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go outside and call him yourself with your transmitter?
違う。そんなことはありえない。ブラザーは俺のことを信頼してくださって。だからこそ俺はこの任務の遂行役として抜擢されたんだ。そもそも俺がクレイドールズのリーダーに選ばれた。
Huh? Sorry, what was that?
俺がクレイドールズのリーダーに選ばれたのも。
Heh. I grinned.
まさか騙したのか。
Sorry, Dio. I've never even seen
だった
brother.
ら今の話は何だ。どうしてお前がそんなことを知ってる。
Don't know. Maybe I was divinely inspired.
なあ、
クレイドールズというの。
Dio and I stared at one another while Clover and Temioji quickly explained to Fi and Kay about the memory card on the number 2 bomb, and about the code we found that was from the terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
つまり爆弾を仕掛けたのは。
で、今まさにそのことを。
Yeah.
許せないわ。
Heard a low, furious muttering behind me and turned to see Alice, her lips pulled back into a snarl. Her voice rose to a scream as she charged toward Dio. He ducked out of the way smoothly and pulled something from his pocket.
おっとっと、威勢のいい女は嫌いじゃねえが、そのぐらいにしておいた方が身のためだぜ。
なんですって。
俺が今持ってる装置、なんだか
まさか起爆装置。
ご名答。じゃあこのスイッチを押したらどうなるかもわかるな。
この施設には少なくとも2つの反物質それらが爆発するのね。
まあ2つじゃな。
01の爆弾もどこかに。
そう。それに加えてもう4つも
あるっていうの？
その通り。仕掛けた爆弾は03、02、01の他にももう一つある。ナンバー00の爆弾がな。合計すると TNT 換算で4トン分の爆弾ってことになる。それが炸裂すりゃこの建物もろとも吹っ飛ばされて跡形もなく消え失せることになるだろ
それはお前とて同じじゃろうが。
ディオ、お前。
元より覚悟の上だ。俺にはスペアもいるから問題。
スペアというのは先ほどシグマさんが言って。
そう。
Paralyzed whispers something to Clover.
四つ葉、訓練の成果を見せてやりなさい。
Before I had a chance to ask them what was going on, they moved.
ふざけんじゃないわよ。あれ
She roared and leapt towards Dio, Clover falling just behind. Alice threw a punch at Dio's face, and as he dodged, Clover spun out from behind her. Dio grunted and turned to focus on Alice, but Clover darted in and snatched the detonator from his hand.
四つ葉、
了解、シグマ。
Huh? Before I could respond, Clover had thrown the detonator at me. I scrambled to grab it out of the air and held it in my chest. Excuse me.
やめろ。離せ。離せって言ってんだろうがこのクソ甘。
Yelling didn't do him any good, and Dio found himself subdued by skillful teamwork of Alice and Clover. Strangely, though, once they had a hold of him, he stopped struggling. I was reminded of a gazelle with its neck in the mouth of a lion. Had he surrendered, or did he have some trick up his sleeve? It didn't feel right. I didn't have to wait long for the misgivings to prove true. The detonator in my hand suddenly began to flash. What?
何がおかしいのよ。
いやー、お前らの間抜けっぷりがあまりにも滑稽でな。
どういうこと？
今シグマが持ってる起爆、そいつはな、爆弾に向かってタイマーを作動させるよう命令を発信する仕組みになって。
Oh, if he gets like away from him. That's crazy. So if someone takes it, he literally had a backup to activate that shit.
誰かに奪われた場合のことを想定して、そういう仕掛け。要するに、アリスと四つ葉がよく爆弾は遠隔操作式から次元式へと変わった。したがって。もはや起爆装置を破壊しても無駄ってことに。爆弾に内蔵されたタイマーはすでに作動しちまっ。
How long do we have?
30分後だよ。
30分。
たったの
ご愁傷。
どうすれば止められる？
それは話したで。まずはパスワードの入力装置が。次にその装置を爆弾に接続して。
なあアリス、どうしてそんなことをして。
答える義理はないわ。それよりも入力装置がどこに。
それこそ答える義理。一体バカ、やめろ。腕が折れる。
そりゃそうよ。折ろうとしてるんだもの。
頼む、やめてくれ。
入力装置のありかを教えて。
わかったわかった、言うよ。コードの右のポケット。
四つ葉、
She nodded and started digging through his pockets. After a few minutes,
ダメ。何も入ってない。
もしかして。
嘘じゃね。もう一度ちゃんとよくし。
何かある。
Clover pulled her hand from his pocket and held it out. Is that a pill, like for medicine?
ね
は？よく見えねえな。もっと顔の。
Clover frowned and moved closer to Dio, holding the pill out toward him. Suddenly, he moved his right hand, sneaking out to grab the pill from Clover's hand. Before anyone could react, he shoved it into his mouth. I heard a tiny crack as he bit down. Almost immediately, he grimaced in pain.
なんじゃ何を飲んだんじゃ
おそらく
そんな私としたことが
Damn, he had the death pill from Metal Gear. His eyes rolled up to his head and flecks of spittle began to trickle out of the corners of his mouth. I grabbed him by the hair and shook. What the hell are you doing? Where's the input device? Don't screw with me.
分かった。それじゃあ教えてくれ。
会場タンク分かった。どっちにしろ教えてや。ただし03のその B K Z X C N.
Oh, interesting. We have one for a different bomb. What about the other three? Tell us the other three. You didn't even seem to hear me. His voice was weak, but more foam was dribbling out of his mouth. Those were the last words Dio spoke. He died with a strange, happy smile.
結局爆弾03のパスワードしかわからなかった。どうするのこれから。
I don't know.
爆発まで
25分です。
それは確かな。
ええ、実はディオさんからタイムリミットを聞いてその時の表示が。
つまり次の第一扉が開くまでの残り時間と爆弾が
そうです。ところで現在の残り時間はと。
Oh, good. So you have a good night, man.
まずいわね。最悪の場合は白の扉の先
Just know for the schedule tomorrow, Link's Awakening, and Saturday Shoots in Order.
第一扉が開放されてから閉鎖されるまでにはこうだから。
そう。爆発の前に先に進むのは不可能ってことになるわ。
とにかくじっと捜索を開始しよう。探さなければならないパスワードの入力。
The remaining two bombs, right?
あとは03以外のパスワード。
確かに。
Maybe Dio has a note or something.
調べてみるわ。
She knelt down and quickly checked his pockets and sleeves, and then sat back on her knees, frustrated.
ダメ。何も持ってないみたい。
She looked pale.
ならばどこかに隠されている霊明寺。このことをルナに伝えておいてくれ。
分かった。了解じゃ。
よし。それでは各自検討になる。3回。
We all took up and run, heading to different parts of the building. But all of the searching turned up nothing, and as we searched, the clock kept ticking. And at last, the chromatic doors open. Our time had run out. We watched the white doors open. Were there doors to heaven or to hell? Thought barely had time to flutter through my mind before everything went white. We didn't even have time to say goodbye. 1,000 emotions flooded my brain in those last moments. Why? How? How had we ended up this way? Then a blistering wave of heat, like the surface of the sun itself, wiped out the lingering thoughts. Yeah. And everybody died. The end. My consciousness slipped away into a bottomless pool of darkness. Neither heaven nor hell, only the void. Too real. This is one of the endings. Okay. This is the Alice ending. That makes sense. Okay. That makes so much sense the way how the route was kind of going. Okay, yeah. Yes. Alright. So, I'm not going into it right now. Well, we're going to do setup game right now. But okay, interesting. But that's the ending for that. But eventually we're gonna have another route where we do have all the codes for the bombs. Fuck, you know what I didn't do? I didn't write down that damn code. It's okay. We have guides for reasons. We need this lock over here, which is lock number 3. Hopefully around these two sets of routes are gonna open that up. I feel like this is gonna be blocked off. Like once we get to here, this is where it's Sigma being like, man, what can we do? We know where all 4 bombs are. We need to find the codes though. And it's like all the codes that we know from each and every route this is where it leads to, and this is like the true ending. Maybe. But we don't know yet. We'll find out. God damn it. Oh my god, just have a conversation for like a second, thank you. I meant to double tap, but guess what? Your boy fucking is stupid. Alright, this is where we betray Alice, but she also betrays us. And also, Fi was telling us to betray anyways. As Fi and I stepped out of the AB room, I could see the others running towards the projection. Oh, this is just what's been right here. Okay, so this is the announcer speaking for those moments. Projection, shoving, and pushing to get closer. Oh, come on. You don't need to do that. I just made the obvious choice. Well, I'm sure Alice chose betray. That meant we pretty much had to choose betray, right? I guess you could say I just know. Maybe. Okay. I want to set up to the next room that we have to do. So we're doing this segment until we get to the room, and then that's when we'll call it a stream for today. Yeah, we got it. Oh, this is what everyone's here too. I just realized that. Betray, ally. Betray. This bitch. Yeah. Hey Alice, what the hell is this? You chose betray last time, so I chose betray too. No, why? Can you tell me one thing? When exactly did you press the button? What? No, that can't. What was going on? When Fi and I chose ally, Alice picked betray. But this time I chose betray and her vote changed to ally. This was another route that did the same situation. Why? What was different? Had history somehow changed because of my choice? No, that was insane. If Alice had somehow known that I had chosen betray and chosen ally in response, at least that would have followed the principle of cause and effect. But what had just happened was something entirely different. There was no way Alice could have known what we would choose when she had made her decision. Besides, if she had known we intended to betray her, there's no way she would have chosen ally. In other words, she must have made her decision without any knowledge of ours. Let's say we're talking about a game of rock, paper, scissors. I throw out rock. Right after that, Alice throws down paper. Obviously, I lose, so I go back in time and decide to whip out the scissors this time. This time, Alice chose rock. I lose again, but that's fine, because it still makes sense. My actions in the past caused Alice's action in the future easy. But what had just happened in the AB game wasn't like that. Let's go back in the innocent game of rock, paper, scissors. This time, Alice is the one who threw out, oh my god, threw out her hand first. But in this situation, there's no way for me to know what it is. So I decided to go with rock. Now Alice chose choices revealed. Turns out she went paper. Damn it, I lose and I'm pissed off. So once again, I go back in time to try change history and erase my loss. I like that he's explaining this whole theory. When I chose, what will I choose this time? That's not even a question. Scissors, obviously. After all, last time Alice went paper. Here's the important part. When I make this choice, Alice has already made her choice. Sure of my victory, I throw a pair of scissors. But what the hell? My rage would be white hot. How could this have happened? Why? Alice's hand had been paper before. How did it change to rock? Obviously, there's no cause and effect here. I love that he's explaining like the theory of what's going on. Sigma is explaining this theory to me. Just the past of mine was in the future. How could that even happen? How could the future influence the past? But it wasn't theoretical. It wasn't theoretical now. This had actually happened. What the hell was going on? No, wait. Why the fuck was I talking so casually about going back in time? That kind of stuff doesn't happen in real life, right? Of course, time travel is impossible. There's absolutely positively no way to travel through time. But if that was true, oh, sorry.
なんで私があなたに問い詰められなきゃ。責めたいのは私の方よ。あなたとファイのせいで。
Yeah, you're right.
そうだな。よくも平気な顔してそんなこと。
Sorry, really, I seriously feel terrible
も
about
ういい
this.
わ。今後一切あなたとファイよく覚えておきなさい。
Alice stormed off. She threw one last hurt, scornful look over her shoulder as she left, and it stabbed me right through the heart. Shot through the heart! Sorry. One of the other teams seemed to be dealing with similar issues.
本当にまさか
わしが相手に四つ。
どういうこと？
もしかして
そういう問題ではないわ。
ではどういう
それは
だいたいよっぽどの信頼関係がない限り。
つまりわしと四つ葉にはその信頼感。
当たり前でバカじゃない。たかだか数時間前に会ったばかりの
わかっもう胸が切り刻まれるようじゃ。
何よ。なんかさっきから
とにかくわしが短時間の間に信頼関係を結べなかったのが
なんだかそんな風に
あっちに成功例があるからな。あれを見せつけられてはわしが悪かったのだと思わざる。
成功？本当に？もういい。僕らは当然ね、ディオさん。
あ、そうだな。
Dio and Quirk selected ally again, though, for this one. Interesting. Dio, Quirk, and Lunar, on the other hand, seem to have resolved things amicably by choosing ally. No doubt we were all wishing we'd done the same. But why had Dio sounded so awkward? What happened in the AB room? Only Dio and Quirk knew for sure. Oh.
ねえゼロ。次のラウンドはいつ行われるの？だった第一。
2回目。
ああ、確かに。いつかどうして？
This is the same dialogue text we had.
そうだ。じゃあ。そう次は。
で、
そうなんか返す。
He's just explaining the situation. Hey, can I ask you something? The rules about who can go. Okay, this is just, yeah. Him getting explained the situation, blah blah blah. Okay, just making sure this is the previous conversations. Yeah, this is explaining how this works, the game, the bracelets, everything. Whoops, I put all by accident, my bad. I think this is where Sigma goes into the exposition of how I got captured.
実物が存在するならウサギ汁にして食ってやる。
That sounds gross. I don't really want to think about that.
ねえ、これから CD の第一扉が
Yeah, it looks like about 42 minutes.
とにかく他に通風口とかダストシュートとか、もしかしたらゼロの見落とし。
サンスこんなとやれるだけのこと。
Yeah, I'm just talking about this. They're gonna split up. Yeah, and then this is where he goes to the dialogue text. Why is this happening to me? Spent a few minutes wallowing in misery. I figured I deserved at least a little self-pity. But even I knew that brooding and whining wasn't going to get me anywhere. Like Kay had said, we needed to at least try and find another way out. So I shook my head to clear it, stood up straight, and headed off. And this is those conversations I think everyone had previously. Yeah. If I do miss out on dialogue, it's fine. We've been through so many of these.
殺され、それが私の。
なあ、
But they still have this conversation.
違う、彼女はある場所で砂漠。そう。でもこの子、ねえ、こんなのフェア。あなたたちのこと。
お、
まだと。
Yeah, this is conversation of the conversation about what's going on. Trying to cat theory. Wait, what? Oh, was it the bomb? Okay. We got that out the way. This really just resolves back to where it was, huh? Oh my god. Okay, we're doing this again.
そう。
お、10回だ。
でも、この盾できるだ。
いや、このバッ
どういう。
もう一度03。もしも、さらに。
その直前なら。
ああ、シグマさん、僕ら8人は3つのその時にはまだ。
そうじゃ、確かにあの時な、他のみんな。
Oh, they're saying that I did it, right? Wait. This doesn't make any sense. According to Temayoji, any one of us could have been it. Okay, yeah. They're being blamed.
ないの。そしてゼロが気づいているとするなら。なんだ。
そのゼロっていう。
もちろん。
なんこれそれ。
わかっいいだろう。とゼロ。
We have this conversation. And this is where we decide, right? I believe there's 2 route options right now. Beam boom. Okay, here we are. The song kind of did this weird loop. I think Alice would be like, I don't want to team up with you or some shit.
前と考え。
私にはその権利があるはずよ。
Okay, here you go. Well, you decided the first time, right? Yeah, then can I decide this time? Why you? I think I deserve it. There's 2 routes.
何しろ私の今のこういうのは最も不利な人間にこそ優先的、そう思わない？
だったらじっちゃんにもその権利がある。だってじっちゃんの
じゃがまずはアリスの希望。アリス、お前さんは
緑の扉、水色のペアであるケイとクオーク。
なるほど。すると天明寺さんとディオさんのペアは天明寺さん。
ああ、わしはそ。
次の AB ゲームでも 私と対戦することになるんだよ。それでもいいの？
だからこそじゃよ。四つ葉、そのおめえをこの機会に。
天明寺。
とはいえアリスと組んでもアリスにも折り入って話して
何よ。
まあそれは
とにかくアリスさんの第一希望は他の皆さんはどうでしょう。それで問題。
Thought about it for a moment. If the only option B, then Luna and I would go through the red door with Phi. As far as how I felt about that. What would I need here? I wouldn't know. As far as how I felt about it, yes. Yeah, that's fine. There are no objections. Hopefully this is the one I want. We'll check in a second. Don't fucking do this shit. Oh, there was a dialogue text. My feet slapped against the hard metal of the warehouse floor, and Luna, Phi, and I ran to the red chromatic door and the next stage of the Narnia game. We still haven't got to the next place. This is the first time going to the red door? I can't remember for the life of me. Have we been anywhere else so far? Oh, no, yeah. There's always a different route in each one. I was gonna say, I hope this is a different room. Oh! It made me pick the right path. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Because I feel like this is going to be a longer thing. So, going this way might actually solidify, like, what the situation will be. And then, as we go down this way, it'll be like the final route. Possibly. We'll see. If, by chance, once I get to this route and do this, what I want to do is... If there's no locks here that stop me here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this route. Then after that, do this side right here, like this side right here. Then, before we continue down this path that's like in the middle like that, I want to do all the unlockable ones. So everything that has a lock on it. I think maybe, depending if we don't get locked out here, obviously. Why should I? Okay. Right, then I have no choice. Did you really think I'd say that, you heartless monster? There's nothing on either side, is there? Ah, sorry for the confusion. I was talking about your breasts. If you're a C cup, I'm packing 12 inches. Fucking! That's insane! We'll continue in the vein for some time until... It was Luna, I would assume, right? Huh? Huh? It's okay. This is still shut tight. Yeah, Sigma, we need different routes, man. Well, this is the final red door route, I think. Actually, yeah, I could probably examine that. Whoa! Oh, didn't mean to skip. Let's see. What is this place? It looks like some kind of control room. I can see a huge machine. I forgot that if I double tap on the control, it will actually go all skip. I meant to just let it, like, show me the room. I can see a huge machine of some sort of the other side of this window. Maybe a generator. Right, well, let's split up and look around. They're probably in this room somewhere. Alright, perfect. Good stopping point right here. Before I go into what I normally do, I want to check the routes real quick. because there was something that interested me. So we did... This is the third time we did the red door, where it has an alternate pathing. The green door is my final one, where I'll have the alternate pathing. There should be 3 each, because I think every point that we went to that had the whichever door went, it was 3 doors, and it'll be like, which door would it open? This situation is here. So we have all the red ones, we have all the blue ones, and the only one that's missing here is the green one that's right there. But until then, oops. Alright. Save. Yes. Okay, whatever's here, there's some ending here, but there's also... I don't know if this would be the final ending or this would be the final ending. Who knows? We still have a lot of other routes to deal with. We have the K route, Quark, Tenmyoji. Is that everyone? There's 8 of us, right? No, there's 9 of us. What am I talking about? There's 3 I miss. Oh, Sigma, if he has a personal own route, because I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, never mind. So, all the other routes should be the other characters. If I'm correct. Let's say it's Quirk. Tenmyoji, K. Who am I missing? If it's 8 characters right here. Why can't I piece this together? Oh, 5. That's who the last remaining, and then the final ending. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Dude, I was like, who am I missing? Alright. Quit. And here. We're gonna be on here just so it's not silent or it doesn't go into the auto thing. Schedule. Alright, as you know, Thursdays is standalone Zero Escape as of right now. Tomorrow, we're doing Link's Awakening, continuing off of our Zelda series for finally getting back into the route. We're doing the route... We're now on the failed Heroes timeline, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I have it here. What is this? Oh. We did a Link to the Past. I remember that, I think. I have to look at that. I have to see if I have a VOD. Then Link's Awakening, which is the in-between of Link to the Past and the Oracle of Ages. Oh, Oracle of Ages would be fun, actually. But yeah, Link's Awakening would be the next game we're going into. Sorry, I'm just looking up to see what I know we're doing on the hero that the Heroes Defeated route right now. But right now what I'm looking at, right after Oracle Seasons, it's the Oracle stuff. It's Link Between Worlds. Triforce Heroes, which we're skipping because I think you need, that's multiplayer, no? I'll look into it to see if it's a single player thing. The Legend of Zelda, the first Legend of Zelda, and the Adventure of Link. Yes, the Adventure of Link, which is I think the second Zelda game, which is Zelda 2, yeah. I know I did Four Sword Adventures first, and the original Four Swords, which was the Game Boy game, that one I think you actually required to play multiplayer with. I don't think you could play single player. But yeah, I did Four Swords Adventures accidentally on that point. It was supposed to be way later we got to that. But it's okay. Just one game is out of timeline order. But yeah, so the Adventures of Link would be the last game that we do on that route. The hero is triumphant, and I return as a child. Then we'll do Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Four Swords Adventure we already did. Then we'll do Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, all the Toon Link looks. And then the final route, or the final thing, once we're done with Spirit Tracks, what I was thinking of doing, maybe do Hyrule Warriors for fucking, what's it called? the events that happened before for the life of me I can't remember. Not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. The events that happened before Breath of the Wild. Then we do Breath of the Wild. I have to look into which the second Hyrule Warriors game, if it's gonna be after, before, between, something. And then we'll do Tears of the Kingdom. So it's still a line of shit that will come down the line, but yeah. And also, this is the game that's gonna be an in-betweener thing, where it's like, we do Legend of Zelda, then we'll do Pokemon. So it'll be like, once we're done with this Zelda game, next game after the Zelda game is gonna be Pokemon, like a ROM or something that I'll like look into. And that's how we'll situate the organization of how I'm doing streams to do both of these series. Other than that, though, that is about what's happening for tomorrow. Saturday, we start our playthrough of Shoots in Order. I finally get to play it. It's been already a year, I believe, since that game came out. Or about to be, actually. But hey, better late than never. And I can't wait to experience that game. I can't wait to see how different it is, how it's gonna be. I know it's still made by I forgot his name. The person who created Danganronpa. I know it's created by him, but I can't wait to see like what ideas he has really done for like a different game that he wanted to really do. It apparently has a lot to work with, so we'll see that till then. But other than that, I got nothing else to say. So, anyone on Twitch, lurking, vibing, chilling, just drop by or anything like that. I much appreciate the type of support you guys give me on here. YouTube, if you watch all the way to the end of this, I hope you're enjoying my Zero Escape playthrough. I know I had to look up what the decoding thing was. Honestly, if I could have seen the screen preemptively and then like, you know, had the number with me, I would have done it myself. But the problem with that was, you know, it didn't let me go back, and I was stuck on that screen. So I was like, all right, might as well fucking just look up the answer. And it's okay. I still am enjoying the game, even though I look up the answer. I didn't look into any spoilers, though. I made sure that I didn't read anything. I just needed to look what the code was. But yeah, next week we'll continue off with where we are with this route here, and then we'll see how we divulge and where we go next on each route. Yeah, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna call it here, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for some Link's Awakening. Bye. Jane.